Hello, my name is Gary Schotten. I'm here in Guadalajara, Mexico. We're about to get on a plane to go back home. We've been teaching on entrepreneurship to a conference, and today I'd like to talk to you about the subject of the Olympics and draw a few analogies from the Olympics, and hopefully this will be entertaining and not too noisy in the background, so we'll see what happens. I watched just recently the Olympics in Rio of 2016 ended, and I was amazed at the dedication of these athletes and how hard they worked and how dedicated they were. I mean, these are youngsters and many times younger people that are not sleeping in till like 8 in the morning. They're up at 5:30 and 6 or earlier, and they're going through rigorous training for months and months and years. I mean, their life is on the line as far as their goals for life, and that's the Olympics. And so I look at my situation and I ask myself, am I working hard enough to be successful? I mean, I want to be an average business, or do I want to be an Olympic level business? And you know, that's something that's just a personal thing. I'm never suggesting that you be so dedicated that you harm the relationship you have with your spouse or your children or other things that are important to you, but at the end of the day, TV and other sporting events and other things that you might want to do might have to sit on the shelf if you're going to be really, really, really good. Are you dedicated? Number two, you better know the rules. As a dad, some 25 years ago, my youngest son was very good in World Cup football. Of course, we call it soccer in the United States, but we'll call it World Cup football just to distinguish that from American football. Now, as a youngster all the way through, he practiced hard, he made the teams, and he made what's called the classic team. I had to learn the rules. As a dad, I wasn't raised playing real competitive, real football like that. And I had some rules where I misunderstood. For example, the out-of-bounds line. I was under the understanding, I was thinking that when the ball touches the line, surely it's out of bounds. No, 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 no. When the ball is completely outside and over the line, even to the point just a sliver of the non-line on the outside of the field, not including the line, like a piece of green, can be seen, it's out of bounds. So I was out there yelling at the ref, and everybody shut me down because that was not a bad call. That was the right call. Now, how's that relate? Well, in business, do we know the rules? Are you sure you understand your financial statements? Do you understand your customer? Do you understand your quality? Do you understand your production expectations? If you're in the service business, do you really know your customers? Are you surveying your customers? Are you asking them what they want? Are you mobile? Are you changing? I mean, the rules in our case keep changing. Now, in World Cup football, they don't change that much. But in our case, we better be up on the rules related to our business and be willing to change and implement new things as necessary. Now, let's talk about the referees. Our referees in any sport are important. And one of the important things is that they do not alter the game, and certainly not the score of the game. That means they need to know where they are supposed to be positioned at all times as the field goes back and forth. No one's going to stay at the far end where there's no ball. They're going to come down where the ball is. But each of the referees, each of the linesmen knows exactly where they're supposed to be. And in one particular case, I don't know who it was, I don't know what game it was, but this referee was clearly out of place in the wrong spot. And the guy that shot on goal actually hit the referee. Now, if it was out in the middle of the field, the referee is neutral territory. You just keep playing. But this was a mistake. I mean, the grandstands went into an uproar. I'll bet you this guy lost his job. I'll bet he's no longer refereeing because it was that big a deal. Well, the referees should assure that the game is being played fairly, that the rules are maintained, and they should facilitate the speed of the game and not interrupted. They should not be playing in the game. They should not affect it. Well, here's how government should be, in my opinion. Our government we should not be looking to our government to bail out in a regular basis companies that had bad business. We should not be looking to our government for major subsidies. I know what happens. We should be looking to our government to basically, like in football, stay out of the way. Don't mess with this and don't mess it up, because I want a consistent operation. I want you to enforce the rules in a fair way so that I'm competing with other people in my city, in my state, and in the world, and I have the chance to compete with a fairness that the government, in this case, will maintain and not fall down on their job. That's how I see the government. And I would ask that they really stay out of business, and whatever they do, things like health. I'm sitting here in front of a restaurant, and we should have the government involved. They're not affecting the game, if you want to call it that. When they have health inspections and food inspections, they're not affecting the game in many cases, but other ways they tend to get in and mess us up. Now, let's talk about the scoreboard. Almost every sport, including World Cup football, has a score. And the score is what goes down in history, which is archived, which is remembered. And so whatever that score might be, 2-1 or 3-0, I mean, we will remember that. If you're that sports fan and there's some kind of a special season to that game, then you might remember that score for 5 years. But there's a lot of sub-scores. There's a lot of shots on goal. There's a lot of stops on a shot on goal. That's a sub-score. There's a lot of if the ball was basically turned from offense to defense and we scored on that. There's rules, how many red cards and yellow cards. I mean, there's other sub-score, but none of those have the weight. None of those have the value. None of them are lasting like the actual final score. Now, those sub-scores can be indicators. You can learn a lot by watching sub-scores. So, in my case, in business, we're always looking at the sub-score. We're wondering how many on-time deliveries we had, how many non-conformance, which was basically means scrap or bad parts. What's our percentage of run times that ran over the estimate? Why did we run over the estimate? Do we log that? Yes, we try to log that to get better. But ultimately, the score is profit. Without profit, we're not a for-profit business. And we need to be constantly aware that the score, the final score, the big score, the ultimate score is, did we make a profit? Well, did we make a profit that month? Normally not less than that. Did we make a profit in the last 3 months? I typically look at profit every month. Yes or no? Did we make a profit? How much? I'm not worried if we lost some money 1 month, but I sure look harder the next month, because if we lose money 2 months in a row, then we're already talking about it just a little bit. We're already talking about what would we do, because if we lose money 3 months in a row, you better believe I'm making some changes. I'm going to make sure we are a for-profit and profitable business, because what am I going to do? I'm out of business if I continue losing money. So the scoreboard, in my case, in business, and it's my opinion that the scoreboard is consistently the level, the score, how much profit did we make that month, that season, that time. Well, I hope these are beneficial to you. I hope this is easy to understand. I hope you will share these videos with other people. It would really be a blessing to me if you do that, because we as a organization want to make these videos free to those that are entrepreneurs, wanting to be entrepreneurs. It's entrepreneurs speaking to entrepreneurs, inspiring better business. Thank you.